Society is collapsing. Well, not exactly. It sure does feel like it though sometimes, doesn't it? Reading through your guys' comments and just simply existing myself, it seems as if a lot of us are just barely scraping by, if scraping by at all. And despite what many politicians preach, the current day economy is scary right now for a lot of folks. And if you personally feel like you relate to anything in this video, or you just seem to like content like this, don't forget to like, comment your thoughts, opinions below, and subscribe to see my daily uploads around here on 12 p.m. Central Time. And a huge shout out to everybody who supports me on Patreon. That genuinely helps me survive right now, as well as the people who have checked out the YouTube channel memberships on this channel, and I will touch on that later in the end of the video. Now let's begin.
Here's my resume and my transcript. I graduated from a top university with a 4.0 GPA.
That's great. You should work at Panda Express.
What?
Yeah, or Chipotle. You could make $70,000 a year being a manager.
Okay, but I went to college so I wouldn't have to work at a fast food restaurant.
Ah, you spoiled kids these days. You think a career should just be handed to you?
No, and that's why I busted my ass to get through school.
Listen, most of our workforce comes from overseas, and they work 80 hours a week for pennies on the dollar. You kids just can't compete with that.
Well, why the hell did your generation tell us to go to college if you're just going to pull the rug out from under us?
Hey, that's just business. They should have taught you that in school.
With all due respect, sir, I think that's really unfair.
Listen, when I was your age, I got a job at McDonald's, okay? And after 6 long months of working there, I bought my first house. 5 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms, humble beginnings.
Okay,
Think
but
about
times
that.
have clearly changed. That's impossible these days.
Oh, blah, blah, all this damn belly aching. What you need to do is pull yourself up by your bootstraps and work full-time at Panda Express, all right? While me and my indentured servants increase shareholder value.
I am not going to work at... What the fuck?
Oh, looks like your fate is already sealed.
No. I have a master's degree in computer science.
Guess what? No one gives a shit. Bye-bye.
No!
What a beautiful skit put together right there by this fine young gentleman. No, but to be completely honest though, this is the perfect portrayal and the example of the class generations that we see time and time again spread throughout literally everywhere right now. And fair enough, both sides seem to have somewhat of a point. Times are much different back in the day. So for a lot of these young, for these younger adults, for people of my generation, Gen Z, and even millennials, all these people around this type of generation, you really does not matter how hard you work. In a lot of different circumstances, those extra credit classes that you worked so hard for, that GPA that you hustled to get to 4.0, you busted your ass so many times, you did all that just to land yourself in a cashier station counting change for the rest of your days, trying to make sure people's little like app rewards can get good for the free food. That's kind of what your fate is sealed, I guess. But yeah, versus like back in the day, you kind of could get something going off some of these incomes, and a $70,000 salary used to go a long way. Now it's bare minimum for a lot of different places in the country to even survive. And if you did follow the path and go to college and you can't land yourself some of these jobs, and you end up working some of these fast foods, or these that debt is going to be accruing faster than your money's coming in. And then there's all these different expenses which we will be covering on here in a second.
When I think about it, I'm not poor, but I live paycheck to paycheck. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I have money, but not, like, enough. You know what I mean? Because by the time I do have money, it's the next bill. It's the next month. And I have to pay my bills. So, I'm low-key poor. I don't know. Whatever.
First of all, here's a little chatting with Josh tips and tricks. These butter noodles, they're keeping a lot of people alive right now. This is really helping people survive. Some of these cheap meals, I've ate butter noodles many meals in a row, and they can really get you by if you need to budget accordingly, wisely. But yeah, this is right here. He's not poor, but he's living paycheck to paycheck. Now, when I was growing up, when you're a kid, you just know what you're around as normal. You don't really know anything else. Then you grow up and you see other ways of life and other way people live and stuff, and you realize, like, wow, I was the poor family. I assumed I was middle class, but you're like, you know what? Times are a lot more tough around here than a lot of other people have it. Not everybody. There's always people worse off than you. But at the same time, living paycheck to paycheck and being poor are almost one and the same. It looks like he's enjoying it though. So good for him.
I was just wondering if you guys are hiring at this location.
But we're not currently hiring.
Hi, I was just wondering if you guys are hiring.
At the moment, we are not. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay. Thank you. Hey, I was just wondering if you guys are hiring.
At the moment, we are not.
Hi, I was just wondering if you guys are hiring.
We currently aren't hiring at the moment.
And how can that be the case? Because it seems like almost every single place you walk in seems to be understaffed, and the people that do work there look like they rather wouldn't. So it's like, for people who out here just need to get some sort of sustainable income, and they're dire to work anywhere for a job. They're looking for survival jobs right now. That word I've touched on time and time again. I told you I put that in my dictionary. Survival job is now part of the words around here at the Chatting with Josh channel headquarters. It's getting tough out there. You can make all these different Indeed accounts. You can make all these different LinkedIn accounts. You can reach out to everybody. You can get the interview. People are really picky and choosy. It's, and the picking and choosing is getting just worse and worse.
I just want to know why it's so fucking hard!
Disclaimer, this might get a little loud, but this is the modern day reaction to what's going on.
To get a job, man, in 2025, it is literally impossible, bro. When you do, you get 7 rounds of interviews for some reason, man. Just for them to go with another candidate. You cannot find a job in 2025. It is literally impossible, and I keep crashing out about it. How the fuck are we ever gonna find a job? Why is it so fucking hard, man? It should ever be this fucking hard. I swear, bro.
Hi, can someone...
All right, now some of you are going to say that might have been a little bit much, and fair enough, that was definitely a crash out reaction, but I think it fits. That's how I feel. That's how a lot of people feel in this current day job market, not being able to find employment. Most people are just set out to live in their cars, live on the streets, and find a good box or two. You know what I mean? Maybe you can build yourself a little shack in the inner cities on the side of the interstate. Until they come and kick you out because, being homeless is illegal now, I guess. But, yeah, it's just getting dire out there,
Tell me what the fuck's going on. Like, what are we doing?
We're struggling,
After
honey.
you work your job and you pay your bills and you go to the gym and you eat good and maybe you socialize and you sleep and then you take care
Okay, those last 5 things I know nothing about. The first one, struggling, I think I can relate to.
of yourself. Like, what's the end goal? Retirement? No. Even when you meet your goals, you travel, you save up for something financially, you buy a house, you have a baby. What then? Like, it's really this day in, day out, every fucking day forever? Until what, the big finale is we die? Like what's going on?
It seems like the big old fireworks show is one day we'll just all collapse. Maybe all at once, who knows? Maybe the day of reckoning will come. But either way, she said traveling, she said a house and a baby. Those are all out the window for a lot of folks. People don't even think about that. People can't afford to travel unless you live in your car and that's your only option. People can't afford to have kids, just too expensive, can barely even take care of myself. Buying a house, I don't have a $500,000 to you. It doesn't really matter what city you're in unless you want to live in Timbuktu in the middle of nowhere. Then maybe you can just make up the other type of the savings you're saving on gas and all the other things you got to keep on going. And that's the thing, is that money just keeps on coming. There's always money that needs to be put out. Like, for example, whether that's bills or just different expenses, I ran out of cat food last night. So there goes $7. There's always a $7 that happens every day. There's always something that comes up next thing, time and time again. And it's just this ongoing thing where despite what generation you're from, despite what location you're at right now, a lot of people are facing this type of, issue where it's like, it's just not really looking too hot and things keep looking worse. There's really no glimmer of hope in the foresight for a lot of us, which I know a lot of people are going to say it's all about your perspective. And fair enough, life is all about the way you look at it. But if you don't have money, you can't afford the basic necessities, and it's been a long time since you really had any sort of, I'm not going to say freedom, but any sort of hope. Let's just use the simple word hope. It's not looking too hot for a lot of people. So I would love to know your guys' thoughts and opinions down below in the comments regarding the job market right now, the current economy, and just money overall as a whole. Because let's be honest, time and money, over time, they just screw each other up. The inflation and just the economy, how much we print money. If you did go to college, all the debt you're in. If you did follow the path, even if you didn't go to college, there's these credit cards, there's gambling, there's all these different things just always out here just to get you. And it seems like we're living in the devil's world. But either way, I'd love to know all your guys' thoughts and opinions. This is my 17th time trying to record this video, so I'm just gonna call this one good. I just keep fumbling. My mic died on the first one. It's funny, the first take I did was perfect. Doesn't matter. I'm sorry I look like shit. It's like -5 degrees outside, and I rolled right out of bed. And actually, I woke up, I went and took a piss, I drank some water, and then I hopped on my phone to record this video for you guys. So I want to continue pumping out these videos as much as I possibly can. I really enjoy making these videos. I don't enjoy talking about these topics. Fair enough, these topics necessarily aren't the best. They aren't the brightest. But I do relate to a lot of them, and I think they're really good. I think it's really good to put some foresight into people, create some discussion, stir up a little bit of talk. And I do appreciate all you guys who've been commenting, you guys who have been showing the support over here on this channel, and a lot of you guys do seem to be liking this content. I do appreciate all you guys who do support me over on Patreon. That is a really good way to help me survive right now, because these videos are really the only way I'm surviving right now, because I'm unemployed just like a lot of y'all. And I will be moving here soon, so that's why my content schedule has been kind of iffy and off right now. But once I get myself situated within a week or so, I plan to really keep that going in more consistent basis. And a huge shout out to anybody who has checked out my channel memberships on this page. I'm pretty new to being monetized on YouTube, and I'm not really too sure how all that works, but I'm figuring it all out the same way everybody else does when they first get into this type of thing. And you can actually access these videos early if you are a channel member. There are a few people who have already checked it out. I will throw up a couple of them on the screen here. And yeah, you can check it out in my on my channel page. And yeah, you can get these channels access early. There's a bunch of different perks, especially on my Patreon. You can talk to me personally if you want to check out my Patreon. That's as low as $1 a month per tier. But yeah, I would never ask for money for you guys. This channel will always be free through the videos. But if you guys do want to support me a little bit extra, and you guys do like what I'm doing over here, that really goes a long way. I really hope to eventually be able to get some better equipment for this, because my mic dying constantly, the lighting and everything, it is not ideal. But it's just the beginning around here, so we're going to keep this going and get this off the ground running eventually. Again, I appreciate you guys, and I will see you in the next one.